Hi, I'm A.
Hi, I'm Kay.
And welcome to the very first episode of A and K Unhampered, where we read you Reddit stories and we give our opinion on it. So let's just hop right into it. We apologize in advance. Very first podcast ever, and we have a huge learning curve, but we'll get there. We'll get better.
We'll be good.
Well, no, there is absolutely no promising that we're going to be good, but we will do our best and go from there.
At least we'll be funny.
God, I hope so.
Entertaining.
I think we're funny.
Entertaining for sure.
Okay, so since it's the very, very first time, let's just jump into it. I've got 4 or 5 stories for tonight. Let's see. Okay, so the very first story that I pulled up is from the subreddit from AITAH. And it's, am I the asshole for not wanting to share my location with my boyfriend? Anybody ever make you want to share a location?
Is it bad that I always wanted to know the location?
I mean, okay, in certain situations I can understand. Like, okay, you're going out in the big city on a girls' night, you know, somebody needs to know where you're at. Like, whenever you go on a date, you send me your location.
I have no problem giving locations.
But,
unless they're, controlling.
That's the problem. Because I've had, no one asked. That's Blue. She's mouthy. She's going to be yapping with us. So, okay, so I'll read it to you and then we can dive into the why I feel the way I feel about sharing locations.
Okay.
Okay, so this first one says, I've been dating my boyfriend, Justin, 28 now, just under a year now, and last night we got into a heated argument about sharing my locations. On Snapchat, there's an option where you can share your location with friends. I always had this disabled because I don't like the idea of having 24/7 GPS on me. Well, last night, Justin asked me to turn it on so he knows where I'm at. I told him no, simply because I don't want technology tracking me. My dad is a private investigator, and he taught me a bunch of ways to stay secure online. I even use a VPN and always turn off location services. I explained all of this to Justin, but he didn't seem to understand. He got more and more upset that I wasn't comfortable sharing my locations. He actually started to think I was cheating on him. I tried reassuring him that I've never cheated, but I don't think he believes me anymore. I might be overthinking it, and maybe I just should share my location with him. We're still fighting over this, and it's been a full day, so I don't know what to do. Am I the asshole?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, where is she going? Why do you need a 24/7? Where are you?
Well, here's the thing. If somebody's cheating, the location is the bare minimum of what you would want anyway.
I mean,
there's going to be other signs. There's going to be other notices.
You could leave your phone somewhere. Like, do they have one of those friends that'll lie for him? Here, hold my phone. I'm going to go do something stupid, and I'll come collect it later.
Yeah. Left it in the car, and somebody took your car.
Cheater going to cheat regardless of location services.
Not going to have anything to do with it.
So, we can go into the comments here. The overwhelming vote here is not the asshole. Oh, wait, that's my comment. We're not going there.
I want to hear it.
We'll come back to that. Okay, so this person comments, says, welcome to your first red flag. There will be more. Yeet him into the sea.
That's fair.
You know, the comments are always good when they include the word yeet. Just, yeet. Bye.
Yeet.
Done.
Yeet.
Let's see. Agreed, if you cave on this inch, he will take a mile the next time. Drop his ass. I mean, honestly.
Even if she was cheating, he shouldn't be so pushy.
I mean, like I said, there's a time and a place for sharing your location. Are you going on a long road trip by yourself? Are you going out on girls' night? Are you, going somewhere alone, as a safety concern? And then there's my ex. I need to know where you are every second of every day because I am so insecure that you're going to walk past a bug fart and I consider it cheating.
See, I didn't quite have that, but I get that because I wouldn't want them. Nobody's ever pushed that, but I haven't pushed that either. So
I mean, so I can kind of see from that side of the fence, all of my email addresses, my private one that I've had forever, and then the one I made when I was writing the books and stuff. I had to share location data from both of those through Google Maps, and then I had Snapchat at the time. I had to share my locations. My Instagram, I had to share location. My Facebook, I had to share my location. Like, he literally had me on a tracker 24/7, and it is so suffocating. I hate it.
No.
My vote is not the asshole.
I say not the asshole.
Not the asshole at
There's
all.
no reason really to have
No. I really hope she dumped him because there's just no reason for that level of insecurity.
I feel like there's a lot more going on.
If you're that insecure that you need to know where your partner is 24/7, nonstop. What are you doing? I can't see you, and it's a problem. You are not ready to be in an actual adult relationship.
Well, most of the time, if they're that persistent about it, it's because they are doing something that...
Projection. Oh, not the projection. I hate.
Yeah,
Oh,
projection.
it's like the old saying. It's like they're doing what they're accusing you of.
Yes. Been there.
So true.
A few times.
More than a couple.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly enough. Yeah. Ugh. Okay.
There's a lot more behind the scenes we don't know, and
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Just, no, toxic.
No, very toxic. You know, you don't. It's basically stalking.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
Agreed.
for all intents and purposes, it's.
Now, I did find my car after losing it for 2.5 hours in Washington, D.C. in an underground garage with my Google location.
Okay, but you want your car to tell you where it's at.
But it was only because the Google Maps, you know how it tracks your timeline for your Google?
Yeah.
That's the only way I found my car.
Oh my god. But you gotta watch that too because it's not 100% accurate.
It was enough that I figured it out.
Oh, it got me in trouble so many times. Okay. So, for the next one, I'm gonna give you a choice.
Oh?
So, I'm going to let you choose between, am I overreacting with throwing out my dead ex's things? Or, am I the asshole, the situationship bitch?
Can we do both?
Not at the same time. I'm not that good.
Fine, dead exes things, because I have some...
You have opinions on
Yes.
this one?
I do.
Okay.
Mixed.
I don't send these to her ahead of time. I don't let her read these.
This one she did, though.
Yeah, this one I shared because, oh my god.
I want a debate on this because I'm very torn.
I can kind of see both sides, but this one comes from the subreddit, Am I Overreacting? And it says, am I overreacting by throwing away my fiance's dead ex-partner's things? Why are you trying to compete with a dead person? But
Agreed. Title, definitely terrible.
yeah, so it's already bad, and we're not even there yet. So, okay, so I, 24 female, and my fiance, 25 male, have been together for 2 years, engaged for 1 month. My fiance has a longtime ex-girlfriend, who I will call Sally for ease of story. Sally and my fiance were together for 8 years and high school sweethearts, until she had a very sudden and tragic death, and I won't go into detail about that for privacy. But it was very public and it was on the news. Sally was very well liked in our small town, and she was a typical good church girl who volunteered and could be considered conventionally pretty. Of course, this event was tragic for my fiance's family, and I absolutely understand their grief, but I feel like I've been living in her shadow the entire time my fiance and I have been together. She was very close with his family, particularly his aunt, who won't even talk to me. They hang a stocking for her at Christmas, set a place for her, which I think is a bit too far considering I'm there. They talk about her constantly, and my fiance still has a lot of her things, like her artwork, her old books that she's annotated, love notes, and it bothers me. I vocalized this, but he just put everything in a closet and told me not to worry about it. My final straw was last week, where we were making plans for Valentine's Day, and I wanted to go to a market during the day. However, he said we wouldn't be available during the day since both families and him are going to visit Sally's grave and bring her flowers and valentines from the kids at the school she used to volunteer with, since it was her favorite holiday. Which, I mean...
I have feelings on that part.
Yeah. He said he would reserve a dinner table for us at a nice restaurant and pick me up that evening, but I told him don't bother just because I felt like an afterthought. Here's where people think I'm the asshole. When he was at work the next day, I went through our apartment and took down all the pictures with her in them, took her out of the photo albums, put all of her stuff in a box, and threw it away. When I got home, my fiance was confused, seeing all the photos gone. When I told him what I'd done, he left. Called him several times, he refused to answer. I texted him my reasoning. He promised when he proposed that I'd be his first priority and that she wouldn't matter anymore. I told him he shouldn't have proposed to me if he wasn't over her. He answered the next day saying that he is over her, he just doesn't think it's fair to pretend she never existed. He just told me that he'd be staying with his parents for a while, and I just said they can all think about Sally together. Word gets around fast in a small town, no joke.
Yes.
Excuse me. And I've recently been bombarded with messages and told that what I did was not okay, and that I should respect Sally's memory. But I'm tired of hearing about her. I barely talk to her, and I feel like I'm going crazy. Both of my parents think I'm right, and that he needs to focus on our relationship, but I'm starting to have my doubts. So Reddit, am I overreacting?
Definitely the asshole for throwing stuff away and taking the pictures. That's not right.
I mean...
That's not right. He can have the pictures,
if
the
it
love note, whatever. He can have all that. That's fine.
if it was an am I the asshole question, absolutely, you're an ass. Just that's
She's insecure.
yeah.
But on the other side, the way she's talking, I feel like they're really pushing things. And the Valentine's Day thing, at the very least, one, he should have told her way ahead of time. Two, he could have had her go with them and then they went out to dinner after.
Yeah.
Why was that an issue? Why not include her?
Yeah, why is she excluded from everything that has to do with Sally?
Like the aunt that won't speak to her, that's wrong.
Yeah, the aunt's wrong for that. The aunt's definitely rude.
And it's wrong that they rub it in her, if they're rubbing it in her face. I guess she didn't elaborate on that.
Okay, so you show up at a family Christmas dinner, and there's a special place set for your old man's dead ex.
They're engaged. Personally, I feel like that's too much.
That's a little...
I think that's way too much.
A little above and beyond. I mean...
The first Christmas, okay.
I mean, honestly, though, it doesn't say... Does it say... I'm going to have to go back and check myself here before I wreck myself. Because does it say how long Sally's been gone?
They've been together, what,
They were together 8 years.
No, they've been together 2 years.
Okay.
So at least 2 years. Yes,
okay, so yeah, they've been together for 2 years. But how long since Sally's accident?
I don't think it says.
Oh, let me go. It doesn't say how long Sally's been gone. Which, I mean, honestly, though, if she's only been gone, like, if he hooked up with her right after losing Sally, is she the rebound girl?
Then that's on him.
I mean, yeah, that's on him. But, I mean, I don't want to say red flags, but definitely orange.
Yeah.
How quick did they get together after the childhood sweetheart? You know, we're not going to name names for privacy reasons, but we had those two people in our class. They were together since second grade. They're married with kids now and, you know, going strong. But say she had been in a car accident, I don't believe for 2 seconds that he would be with anybody else in any kind of close span of time.
I can't remember.
He'd be devastated.
But I know it upset a lot of people, even in the amount of time it was. You didn't hear all that? Oh, I heard it. It upset a lot of people. But I kind of get it. But I feel like it was.
We might be talking about two different sets of people.
I don't think so.
W and G?
Oh, yeah, we are.
I'm talking about W and G.
But they're still
together.
Oh, no, I'm talking about D and I can't remember.
Oh, that's not good. No, I'm talking about W and G. They're still together, married with kids. They've been talking to each other since literally the second grade. But if something had happened to G, I don't see W in any short time frame going to somebody else.
No, but he's pretty level-headed.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, though, situationally.
No, if it was within a year, probably even within 2 years, to be honest, that's pushing it. There's a level there. But still.
Are you talking about
B or R?
B and D. And D.
Oh. You know what I'm talking
about now. Yeah. That did take him a few years.
But people threw a fit
when people are gonna throw fits. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? You can't be lonely forever.
I agree. I was all for it. I was all for it.
Yeah. I mean, we were close to that situation. I know I was. Yeah. I grew up with her.
I drove past. It was awful.
Oh my God. I grew up with her, and that was devastating. It truly was. But no, okay, so yeah, that's actually a perfect scenario. I mean, people are going to pitch a fit. People are going to be like, oh my God, you were the love of each other's lives, and you should have been together forever. Okay, well, be that as it may, she's gone now. She's not coming back as much as everyone wishes.
But take your time to heal.
Yeah.
Don't jump right into
something else. Don't just jump into something else.
Don't look for comfort with somebody else.
So let's go to the comments here.
In 8 years, he should have been old enough to know better at that point, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, they were together for 8 years. Like I said, we don't have the numbers on how long it took him to get with her.
Right.
You know, and I mean, short intermission. We'll be right back. Okay, I think we got the dogs sorted out. Again, learning curve. Next time we know better. They need to be created in the other room. Okay, moving on to the comments.
Okay, I want to hear the comments. I didn't see the comments.
Okay, so, I didn't give you everything. I gave you the snippets. Okay, so this one says, you are overreacting. I guarantee if she hadn't passed, she would still be with him. If you were sick of it, you should have just left. And that's not wrong.
That's not wrong.
If you have a problem and you have talked until you are blue in the face and they won't change the behavior that's upsetting you, it's time to consider your option of bouncing out. You're not married yet. It's so much easier to leave before the wedding bells go off.
Yes. And I don't blame her for being upset for what was happening.
No.
But I do blame her for her reaction.
Communicate.
It's both ways, though. You know that.
Yeah, it is a two-way street. But, honestly, just from what I read, it sounds like, I talked to him about it and he said he'd do better. Okay, that's not...
kind of typical non-communicative male.
That's not... He did go to the trouble to box up the things and put them away, out of sight.
I don't agree with that part, though, necessarily.
What part?
He shouldn't have to hide it away. Which I guess he didn't put the pictures away. I think pictures are fine. I think books are fine. Love notes need put away.
Yeah, he put away the artwork that she made and the books she annotated and the love notes and the things like that were out and obvious and that were upsetting her. But, making this man take the pictures off the wall and delete someone who was such a huge part of his life, that's not okay. You're allowed to honor the memory of someone that you really cared about and loved and still move on and love somebody else.
Agreed.
I've still got things around from, even as awful as my marriage was, I still have a trinket here and there from the good times. I keep them put away. I ain't pulling them out every day and staring at them and pining.
That would be a problem.
That would be a problem. But I'm allowed to remember the good stuff.
Yes.
But I'm not sitting around and dwelling on it and making my new man feel like shit. Like, oh damn, does she still want her ex?
No.
God,
no.
no.
He shouldn't be bringing out the love notes and reading them.
No. So, he went to the trouble to actually put it in the closet and, okay, this is making her uncomfortable.
Was a good step.
I'm going to put it away, out of sight, where she doesn't have to look at it, doesn't have to think about it.
But when she said that she set up something for Valentine's Day and he said, me and this family, he didn't say, I thought we could go.
He said both families were going.
He didn't include her, though.
Yeah.
He completely excluded her, which is wrong.
I'm on Valentine's Day.
I know. That's why I'm like, no, that's not okay.
I'm perfectly okay. I would like to think, I've never been in that situation, but I would like to think that if the guy I'm with wanted to go visit the grave of somebody he really cared about, even on Valentine's Day, yeah, give me a heads up in advance. It'd be nice.
Necessary.
And we can go do that and then spend the rest of the day celebrating us now. But that could have been handled better.
It was wrong on both sides.
Yeah,
really
this one might be a little bit of an everybody sucks. Further comments. Yuck. It wasn't your stuff to throw away. And honestly,
that's true.
She stole his stuff and pitched it in the dumpster. And if she'd had spent 2 seconds on a second thought, she should have went and some good old dumpster diving and got it back.
Like, did that stuff get ruined? Is it salvageable? We don't know.
Hopefully it's not a disgusting dumpster. But if the trash truck hasn't run yet, go save what you can. Because that is wrong.
It's wrong.
So the next comment says, you crossed the line. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I agree.
That's a good question. That was not okay.
They started out crossing the line, though, too. And the aunt especially, and I feel like there's probably things the other parents or the other parts of his family has said or done that's probably pushed her to that point. Personally, I'm pretty level-headed, but I feel like they probably did more to push her to that point.
See, now this comment, actually kind of brings a whole new perspective on it. It says, you're the asshole. You know damn well he would have married her if she'd lived. So he's essentially a widower. He didn't break up with this girl.
8 years?
He's essentially a widower. He didn't break up with this woman. It's not like they got in a fight and she packed her bags and left. She died. He's a widow. It's not his ex. They didn't break up. That's not an ex. So, I mean, you kind of throw that on it, and it gives it a whole new dimension on the end of that.
But I feel like, to a light note, not extreme, she should have been included, at least for the most part, in some of his own remembrances, memorial.
I know she said she knew of her, so it makes me sound kind of sounds like they all were kind of in the same school, kind of like our small town. Everybody went to this damn school out here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody went to this school.
Mm-hmm.
Go Cougars. But
do we want to admit that?
I'll admit it. Orange and black, baby. But as awful as some of those years were, and as little as time we spent talking to a lot of those people, I mean, honestly, we still keep up with them. The glory of social media.
Yeah.
Everybody's a spy on everybody that they knew back in the day. So, I still get upset when something bad happens to these people, even though we weren't, like, besties back in the day.
Yeah, I still feel for him.
I mean, like, I never hung out with N.
Yes.
But I bawled like a daggum baby when she died.
Yeah.
Because I knew her a little bit, and that's a horrible way to go.
I actually did. And not too many years before that, and I bawled.
I was curled up in a ball. He's like, "What is the matter?" And I'm like, just held my phone up. It was awful.
I know.
I mean, I hung out with her occasionally, passing in the hallway, hey, what's up? And, so, you even if you weren't like this with them, you still knew them. You remember them.
There's memories growing up from
and she
kindergarten
said,
to senior
she
year.
flat said, news travels fast in a small town. In a small town, everybody knows everybody, whether you want to or not.
Someone's going to twist their ankle down there. Somebody over here is going to find out in about 5 minutes.
Before the ambulance ever shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got one more comment that I saved.
Yours?
Says, when you understand, you say, I can't read tonight. Ooh, the wine's good today. Says, when you say that you understand their grief, no, the fuck you don't. You obviously have no idea what it's like to lose a person suddenly and tragically. Says, she deserves to be remembered and carried on in people's hearts, and you don't get to take that away from anybody.
You don't.
You don't.
Like I said, there's empathy. There's sympathy, there's empathy, and they are different.
Very.
Most people cannot have empathy. Most people cannot.
Empathy's tricky. Empathy's tricky.
You have to,
tricky.
I don't know, you have to have a different mindset. But even then, she went beyond. Like, she wasn't even sympathetic at that point.
No.
The way she's talking, which maybe she had just had it at that point. I don't know.
I mean,
like I said, I really think there's more that wasn't said that probably pushed her to that point.
I'm sure there's more details that aren't here because we're only getting one side of the story.
Right.
What else besides a plate at every holiday meal and Valentine's Day in the cemetery and she wasn't invited is going on. I guarantee there's missing details. You're spot on that. But just from what they wrote, gross overreaction.
Way.
Like, he went to the effort to put it up.
Like, at that point, I say he should break up with her.
Oh, absolutely. And he did. He left. He's at his mom and dad's right now going, am I keeping this woman? Did I make a mistake? They've only been together 2 years and engaged a month. Honestly, it's still super early and not too far gone for walking away.
No, they both just need to walk away at that. And both need to do some healing. And
oh, absolutely.
Revisit.
A little bit of soul-searching therapy. Absolutely.
Yep.
Both of them need therapy. He needs therapy to work on healing and coming away from what happened. And she needs to do a little bit of soul-searching herself. Like, why am I letting my insecurities hang out
that bad?
That bad.
Even if they were
over
doing
a woman who is no competition to me. There's no competition. You cannot compete with a dead person. There's not a competition.
Well, even if they were really all that bad about it, and I agree they were wrong for the things they were doing, she should have been able to stay completely calm and be like, listen, you're not healed. And this isn't going to work until you are.
This is not working for me because of XYZ. Come and see me when it's a little further in your past.
Yes.
Something to that effect. So, see, I told you these.
I was really interested in that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. Okay, now you're going to love this one.
Oh, boy. I don't do situationships. You know?
Oh, no. No, we're jumping to, my girlfriend says I cheated, but I don't think I did.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Blue, when I want an opinion, I will ask for it. Okay?
She's giving it anyway. No.
We're all about the opinions, sweetheart, but you need to wait your turn. Okay. Whew, it was just cold to go away. Okay, so this one comes from the subreddit AITAH. Says, my now ex-girlfriend, great way to start, says I cheated on her. I don't think I did.
Okay, let's hear it. We'll be the judge. I think we're the experts.
We listen and we judge.
Very much.
Harshly. Okay. So I'd been seeing my girlfriend for about 6 months.
Okay.
And it all seemed to be going well. The only issue I'd had was her time management. She's constantly making plans with me to do things and then canceling last minute. Hate it. Hate it so much. Once in a while, understandable. Always, what are you up to?
Yeah, I already have opinions.
Normally, I wouldn't be bothered if there was a warning in advance, but she never did this. She would arrange a date and then cancel when I was already at the place the date was supposed to happen. This has resulted in embarrassing situations where I've been stood up in, for example, a restaurant before. I made it very clear that after this event that if she did something like this again, it would be grounds on my end to break up with her. Absolutely fair. And in her defense, she did get better. But sometime last month, she stopped returning my texts. About 2 weeks went by, and I just accepted I'd been ghosted. Seemed to make sense based on her previous behavior. Around this time, I slept with someone else. The next day, she replied that saying she's sorry, she's not replied, but she's been busy with work. All I could think was, oh shit. I told her what I did, and she's told all of my friends that I'm a cheater and a piece of shit. So what I'm asking is, am I the asshole?
Okay, one, so proud of him for communicating that.
You know what?
So, guys do not do that.
That is how
awesome.
boundaries work. If you do this, I will do this. That is how you do it.
Yes.
And stick to it.
Yes.
Because if you don't, they're like, your boundary's made out of, I don't know, saran wrap.
Yeah. 2, how long did she go without replying, or does it say?
2 weeks.
Okay, no.
She ghosted 2 weeks.
Together 6 months, you're not going a day without talking to each other. You're not.
It's
not happening.
No.
You wouldn't even want to go a day without seeing each other, let alone talking to each other.
I mean, I've been seeing my guy for almost 2 years at this point. Oh my God.
But if he lived closer, you'd see him every day.
I mean, even being long distance like we are right now, at absolute bare minimum, we text a little bit before bedtime.
Yeah.
And that's if both of us are exhausted, dog tired from working all day. No.
6 months in a relationship, there is
that's
not a
still
day
fresh.
that you don't have some kind of text.
That's still fresh. You're still honeymooning at 6 months.
So if she went 2 weeks without texting him, I agree with him. She ghosted him.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Don't wait 2 weeks to find out.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, though. I mean, he said that she didn't respond to any of his texts. Did he text her at all saying, are we done? Are you breaking up with me? Where did you go? Why are you not replying?
It didn't specify how many texts.
I mean,
personally, I would have a lot of texts, and then I'd be like, okay. And I probably wouldn't say, well, I've been in that situation, not 6 months long, but I've been in that situation. I'm not going to sit there and say, okay, are we done? I'm just going to be like, okay, and just not keep messaging.
Yeah, I don't know. But this doesn't sound like they're long distance.
It doesn't.
This does not sound like they're long distance at all. This sounds like they live in the same town.
And the fact that she was ditching him last minute, that's just disrespectful.
It is. It really
so
is.
Disrespectful.
Communicate. It's
that's not even
hard.
about that. That's just so... To wait till the last minute like that? Like, it'd be one thing if it's a couple hours before. That's still disrespectful, but not that bad.
I mean, if your work schedule is so crazy busy or you're taking care... the only real... devil's advocate over here. The only real excuse I can find for something like that is, are you taking care of an ailing mother, grandmother, grandfather, dad? Do you have something, are you an on-call nurse? The phone rings, gotta go.
The only thing I see that actually being right would be the on-call something. Because if it was a family member or something, 6 months together, she would have been inviting him over. Even if it's just to sit there and be there.
Like with my grandmother, when she got bad, I wasn't available, unfortunately, at the time to be on the drop of a call.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad, my brother, the phone rings, they had to be there.
Right.
No matter what they were doing. Stop and go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, something like that honestly could be, but as you stated, they've been together 6 months. that would be something that he would have been informed of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if my phone rings and it's my dad and Grammy done fell down the stairs again, I gotta go.
Yeah, there would no.
Or on call in a hospital. They're calling a code blue. They need me. Bye.
It wasn't excusable.
No.
There's nothing about it that's excusable.
There's like all stories on Reddit, there are a lot of missing. But yeah, so she says he cheated. She's telling everybody he's a cheater. He doesn't think he cheated.
I
To
agree.
the comments.
He did not cheat.
To the comments. And the first comment on here that I found was, "Are you sure she didn't cheat? Because 2 weeks is insane. That's an immediate block for me. Not the asshole."
Mm-hmm. I agree. She probably was. And the fact that she was canceling on him last minute, what was so important that she would cancel on him for an hour? She could have went and seen him for an hour.
See, this next commenter brings up a very interesting point. I'm guessing that whatever or whoever she was busy doing didn't pan out, and he's the standby guy.
Yeah.
He's back burner boy.
Yeah.
Never
He's
allow...
a revolving door.
Never allow yourself to be back burner boy.
Mm-mm.
I know women like that, where they always make sure that they've got a warm bed to be in before they hop out of the one that they're in. No. And I hate it. I hate it so much.
2 years ago. I don't want that. But no, I've been the one that's been the revolving door.
I've been the back burner girl.
I don't like it.
And the back burner girl, I swear, that is such a miserable position to be in.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're sitting back there going, well, I mean, I'm good enough to be on the back burner. Why ain't I good enough to be in the pot on the front?
Or he's still messaging me every once in a while.
Dangling carrots.
Yeah.
It's like, I like you a little bit. Come, stay. I'll be done with her eventually. Stay. Douche canoe. Oh my God. Not douche canoe.
Yeah, that was very much this. So yeah, I've been there, done that. Never doing it again.
Ugh, no. What do we got? Saying not the asshole. She didn't respond for 2 weeks. That's a breakup in my book.
Mm-hmm, it is.
Yeah, you don't show up for work in 2 weeks.
Well, she was in the hospital. That's the only excuse.
Expect you have a job when you get back.
only if she was in a coma. It's the only acceptable excuse.
Yeah, and somebody would let her know. Not the asshole. You were on a break.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy air quotes. You can't see them, but the air quotes are flying. She was too busy for 2 weeks to respond to you. Mm-mm. You were broken up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Nobody is too busy to not send a response every once in a while.
I mean, no.
It didn't have to be anything big. It takes 5 seconds.
Everybody gets a lunch break. Everybody gets a lunch break.
It takes 5 seconds.
Everybody is allowed to run and go take a leak once in a while. Mm-hmm. And what do we all do on the toilet now that we have phones? We don't read shampoo bottles anymore. No. We doom scroll.
That is exactly true. Like everybody freaked out from TikTok because their bathroom breaks will be a lot shorter.
Blue Bear says not the asshole.
Blue Bear is the asshole.
Blue Bear is the asshole. We love her, but she's an asshole. She's down there beating up my other dog right now. Anyone who claims to not communicate because they're too busy is absolutely full of shit.
And absolutely cheating at that point. Honestly. They're either not interested if it's a short amount of time, but if it's that long, they're cheating.
Say, yeah, my dude, you're in the clear. NTA, bullet dodged. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes.
And we have a response from the OP.
Ooh,
we do. It says, based on events since this post, I think she's a crazy person, and I'm lucky it ended like this when it did. She spent a week with her ex in a different city. She's now making serious allegations against him, which I don't believe. I plan on cutting all contact with her and her friends.
Agreed.
Oh, snap.
Yes, it's necessary.
So she spent a large part of that time with her ex in another city, and then comes back and it's like, oh, I was just busy with work, and you're a cheater while she's holed up in another town with another dude. Bitch, please.
It took him 2 weeks.
Bitch, please. And honestly, I don't think he's ready for a committed relationship, because 2 weeks and you're already bed hopping? Come on now. Blue Bear.
True, but it was also only 6 months. So I don't know. It depends on how serious they were. Obviously, they weren't that serious because she never went out with him.
No. I mean, you leave this poor sod standing in a restaurant. And that's just rude.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so rude.
So they weren't even serious. So honestly, I don't even blame them for that.
No, that sounds like they were more in a situationship than actually dating. Speaking of situationships, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
So, I saved it under situationship, bitch. But that's not the title on the post.
Okay.
That's just my cute way of remembering what the stories are about. Okay. So, this one is again from subreddit AITAH. And this one's titled, Would I Be the Asshole for Telling My Friend to Work on Herself Rather Than Judging Me?
So far, no, but go ahead. I want to hear more. I need more details.
It's like pot, meat, kettle. Okay. It says, sorry in advance, English is not my mother tongue. You're forgiven. We get it. Okay. I was in a relationship for 5 years that ended because of a personal issues my ex, let's call him Felix, had and no longer fitting life goals between us. Fair. It was never about feelings because we loved each other very much. We ended up with no contact because that didn't work and reconnected a few weeks ago. The plan was to just chat and update each other. Well, it worked out fabulous because there are feelings still and attraction left, and we hooked up a few times since. So there's a fucked up kind of ex-relationship situationship between us, and we're both not really set on what to do. A good friend of mine, let's call her Tara, has a friend with benefits with a guy that told her a year ago that he would never have romantic feelings for her. She loves him and often vents about that guy or cries about how unfair life is and why he doesn't love her. As a good friend, I always listen to her and tell her I'm here for her, that I can't make decisions for her, but I won't judge her for her decisions. I need to say she complains often about that thing going on in her life. Today I cried because I was overwhelmed with my situationship thingy and unsure what to do. I wanted her to listen, read my text, so I could get it off my chest and maybe figure out a solution. She just told me that I'm at fault for my problem, that I shouldn't cry about it, and that I should have known hooking up with my ex would be a bad idea, and I was stupid for doing it. I'm really hurt and would love to point out that she's a bad friend for judging me and also has no right to, while she's simultaneously hooking up with someone who flat said he does not love her, but hoping he'll eventually fall for her. But I think I might be an asshole.
No. Because, one, her and her ex, it's somewhat of a mutual situation. Two, the other situationship, she is madly in love with this dude who has told her he would never love her.
Told her, I will never have feelings for
She's
you.
Just hoping.
You are.
Having hope.
He might as well have looked her dead in her eyes and said, you're the side piece. Know your place.
No.
I mean, seriously, that is what it should have been.
She's not the asshole.
She's not cut out for being the side piece. She's got main character energy. Say, no, I'm the princess and this is my story. No, honey, you're the kitchen wench and the princess is over here.
Right?
I mean, seriously.
But she was never rude to her either.
Mm-mm.
You know, she may give her opinion, but she was polite about it. She knew not to bring her down. But then her first instinct as her best friend or whatever.
Like, well, dumbass, what did you think? I would slap the snot out of you.
And like, if we're joking, which we wouldn't about that, but if we were joking to bring spirits up, that's different.
We kind of would crack on each other a little bit just to break the mood.
Yeah, but in a serious, the very first thing would be supportive, not demeaning.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if I spent months listening to you upset because you're hooking up with your ex and y'all got a little bit of a feeling left, but you're not sure if to get back together and this and that, and I'm, all of that, and then I come at you because I done got myself stuck in a side piece situation, which never do that. Been there, done that, don't ever do it.
Excuse me.
It's awful. And I know you've probably been there too.
With my ex? Neither. Thank you.
Your imaginary fairy tale prince who doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
That's better.
I've met your exes. I apologize in advance. But you get what I mean.
Yes.
And then for me to spend 6 months sitting there listening and being supportive, and you look at me and go, well, dumbass, what'd you think was going to happen? I would genuinely be hurt.
Right. You don't go after them to hurt them. You support, and then you lighten the mood. There is a difference. Demeanor and what is it? Intention is big. It's important.
I mean, we rip on each other all the time, but
Yeah.
we know that we're joking. The tone is always joking. And, I get the feeling that you're a little bit like me, and the feeling that I can't deal with heavy. I've dealt with too much heavy. Heavy's no fun. I can't deal. I cry. I'm tired of crying. I'm going to crack a really off-color, inappropriate joke, and everybody's going to look at me like, huh? And then we're both going to be giggling while everybody else is just completely uncomfortable.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's us, definitely.
Yes.
The Grim Reaper in the back with the funeral.
My brother agreed to do that for me, and I have never loved my brother more.
You know you're doing that for me, right? Somebody is. Natalie, somebody.
Oh, absolutely. My uncle agreed to do it for my mom. I think it's amazing. I told Mom I'd play. She called me one day, and she was on a tear. We're completely off topic, but it's fine. And she called me one day, and she was just giggling like that completely unhinged, I'm about to kill somebody giggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you good? She goes, well, I got to thinking, and your uncle agreed to stand in the back and be the Grim Reaper and scare people, but I need somebody to make sure that they play this song at my funeral. I was like, Mom, I got you. I'll smack the director. I will make them do it. What did you have in mind? And I shit you not, my mother, love her to pieces, starts playing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. I died twice. So I've kind of already made my promises. And I think she got somebody else to agree to play Pop Goes the Weasel before I do that. So yeah, it's
I was thinking Highway to Hell or Another One Bites the Dust. And
absolutely. No, I'm serious. Like, I don't want my funeral to be sad. I want people like shooting Roman candles at each other and getting drunk by the river.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of with my brother. I don't know that I want a funeral. They're depressing. I personally, I don't get anything out of it, and I wouldn't even if it was for me.
I want my family to come together and remember me and all that, but I don't want them to come together and sit and cry and be sad. I want them to come together and remember me
and laugh
in the way I would have behaved.
Yes.
Roman candles, bottle rockets, and a case of cold beer. Let's make this happen.
ATVs drunk. Yeah, that's fine.
My grandpa would be so proud. That's where I get the love of bottle rockets, is my grandpa. Straight up. He shot them at possums, birds, and the neighbors. It was.
I could do that at a few neighbors.
God, I miss that old man. So, all right, we're going to jump back on topic here and head to the comments.
Fine.
Okay. The first comment is, not the asshole. Go ahead and tell her all about herself.
Yep.
She want to rip it like that, rip it right back.
Release the waterfall. Let it go.
It says, it's well understood that she would need to be absolutely perfect and flawless to offer you any type of good advice. OP responds and says, so stop crying and it's your problem is good advice to you? I don't think that's what they meant.
I think they were being sarcastic.
Yeah, and, she did say English isn't her native language, so I'm not sure sarcasm is going to translate as well. Doesn't say where she's from, but I have found that good old American redneck sarcasm doesn't translate into other languages and cultures quite as seamlessly as we all wish it did.
Yeah, we're just used to it.
Yeah. This one says, not the asshole. This friendship is unequal. She can bitch about all her problems all damn day, but you aren't allowed to share yours. That is not a friend.
No.
That's not your friend.
No.
That's not your friend.
Friend of me, maybe.
No, not even. I mean, even frenemies, they're going to make a snarky comment.
That's just cold.
But yeah, that's just wrong. Ugh.
No. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. But I don't think she's the asshole.
I don't think she's the asshole.
I don't.
And I honestly feel like she should have somehow, like for me, that would have just pissed me off and I would have let go.
Screaming right off the edge of the crazy cliff. Swan dive. Couple of backflips. Belly flop off the crazy cliff.
Insulting, for sure.
See, now I have trouble with that because you flip my crazy switch, calm yeets right on out the window along with my filter.
My filter goes.
It's gotten me in trouble a couple of times.
That works in the calmness. They don't like that worse. It has a better effect.
My grandma always said, kill him with kindness. If that doesn't work, there's razor blades. But no, we don't condone violence. Mostly. Can't be getting canceled here. We ain't even put up the first episode yet. Okay. So, I've got one story left, and then I got a little one for just a little something to talk about toward the end, because this one's a little heavier.
Okay.
We both, unfortunately, been here on this one. I know. All of these stories, if you've not noticed, are all leaning toward the relationships. So, I left the for almost last. Almost last. We're not going to end on a
Okay.
Okay.
Bring it on.
So, if I can get it to load. Technical difficulties. I did.
Would.
Okay, so this one's coming from the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? Would I be the Asshole? Public. Says, would I be the asshole if I leave my emotionally abusive fiance while he's out of town?
Already know. I know.
Okay. So, this one is a little bit longer. We're just going to read through it, and then we will go. I will try to keep my outbursts in the middle to a minimum.
Okay.
No guarantees, no promises. I'll do my best.
Until the end.
Do my best. Okay. So, I, 31 female, have been with my partner, 34 male, for over 2 years, and I've known him for over 10 years. We've been together, and we moved pretty quickly and had a baby. Soon after our child was born, we became pregnant again, and now I'm expecting another baby with him. We're having 2 under 2 in the span of 2 years, which makes things scary for me for what I'm about to do next. Sorry for the long post, but I need advice, and I'm not comfortable talking to anybody else in real life about this. That's what Reddit's for. For some context of this story, when we were friends, we had a great friendship. We had so many good times and laughs, and our connection and chemistry was undeniably strong, to the point where people around us would wonder why we aren't a thing, or others would just automatically assume we were, because of the bond we shared. This eventually caught up to us and brought us both to finally admit that we had a thing for each other, and we went for the shot. I never noticed anything alarming or red flags, so this was a no-brainer to me, and I entered this relationship confidently. The problem is, as soon as we got together, things became sour. Very early on, disagreements and fights between us became really, really bad. It's like he's a whole different person, or for lack of better words, I got to know who he really is. Despite all of his flaws, I fell in love with him deeply. He can be this Prince Charming from time to time, and this part-time persona is who I think I actually fell in love with. Anyway, we got engaged and really started to move seriously about our future together, to the point where I uprooted my life and moved to the state he lives in. I left my job and gave up everything to be with him, including leaving my family and friends behind, as the state he lives in is estranged to me, and I don't know anybody but him. I became a stay-at-home mom and completely financially dependent on him. I really have been hopeful that he will change his ways for me and keep his promises of doing better by me and staying consistent to the treatment I deserve. He's done some improvement over the last year, staying consistent and treating me better, but when he's under a lot of stress, he can be emotionally abusive. Lately, stress has been at an all-time high for him, and something so minor can push him to say the most awful and disrespectful things to me. I can ask him something as small as, "Hey, are you okay?" and he'll go down a rabbit hole of the things that are wrong with me and with this relationship. Many things that still hurt me and has brought my self-esteem down. He's admitted to me that he takes his anger out on me because I'm who's next to him, and he doesn't know how to navigate and let steam off in a healthier way. In the end, I always end up in tears, and he is always sorry and promises to never do it again, but it's become a vicious cycle. One moment it's as if I'm the worst thing to ever happen to him, and the next I get complete royal queen, lovey-dovey, I can't live without you, please marry me treatment. This toxic hot and cold treatment has put me in a bad place mentally, and I'm now overly sensitive and can be easily triggered by him. Now for the reason of my title. Earlier this week we got in a huge fight where he said very, very mean and very bad things to me, which I will reserve because every time I think of it I break down, so I don't want to type it out or think about it. When things settled a little, he said he was sorry and seemed remorseful because it became so bad that despite me having no money, no car, no job, and nothing to fall back on, I was actually packing my son's and I's stuff to leave him for good. He asked me to give him a week to show me he can do better, and if he fucks up in any way, even in the slightest, I can leave him. I always melt, and I can't help but believe him, and after so few hours of hearing him out, I gave in and gave him another chance. The next 3 days, I got my Prince Charming. And although I'm at the edge of my seat and very cautious, I've been soaking in the part of my man that I fell in love with. Fast forward to today. We're having a normal conversation over the phone about a situation with our baby because he went out of town. He was settled into bed at his stay during the... Oh, some of the typos make it really hard to read. Hang on, let me back up. We're having a normal conversation over the phone about a situation with our baby because he went out of town. He was settled into bed at his stay, and during the conversation, I'm noticing he's starting to take total defense to the subject at hand, and the tone in his voice starts to shift. I can hear the irritation slowly leaking out of him, and he suddenly tells me he no longer wants to have this conversation and attempts to dismiss me. I stood quiet, and after a brief pause, I asked if he wanted to go to bed. I suggested this because I wasn't trying to escalate the situation, and due to the fact I'm overly sensitive, I didn't want to take the tone in his voice personal. After a chuckle, he sarcastically answered me saying, "Yeah, I'll go to sleep." I simply hung up the phone. After hanging up, I couldn't shake the feeling of being neglected or dismissed over something so insignificant. I gave him a call back, and this call resulted into another bad argument, and I now want to leave for good. He kept trying to keep his cool when I told him how I was feeling, but he couldn't help himself. He would laugh and say how he doesn't care about the subject of our baby, so it's no big deal. I clarified to him that it wasn't the subject of our baby that was the problem, but rather the way he was speaking to me and now treating me. He just kept giving me snarky answers and not listening to me, tell him how I was feeling. I asked this grown-ass man for an apology, and he said he didn't even know what he was apologizing for, even after I told him he was disrespectful, rude, and mean. I know this is a stupid argument and so small, but I'm at my last straw here, and I think maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing because the subject about our baby really isn't a serious one. When I told him I'm not tolerating this behavior anymore and I wanted to leave, he yelled at me over the phone and said, "So leave," and hung up the phone. I already texted him letting him know that I was leaving, and I blocked him, but am I overreacting if I leave before he gets back from his trip? He left his car behind, so I'll be using that to move back to my home state and whatever I have in my bank account for gas. I'm afraid of my decision because I'm also 8 months pregnant with a 1-year-old with nothing to fall back on. Should I just sleep off this anger because maybe I'm just easily triggered and overly sensitive? Is it me being easily triggered, triggering him? Would I be the asshole if I left without him here?
So many. Oh my.
There is so much to unpack there.
One, no, she's not the asshole.
Absolutely not the asshole.
She needs to leave. For her and the kids, she needs to leave.
So, he's refusing to talk to her in a civil manner. I don't care how small the issue is. If she called him to tell him that the baby had a new bump in his diaper rash, he needs to just listen. That's his baby too.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
The snarky tone. I can't stand that damn snarky tone.
Oh.
I can't count how many times I was packing my bags. I'm done with this shit. And then here comes the boohoo.
Yeah.
The boohoo. Ugh. I have no tolerance left for the boohoo.
For me, give me another chance. It's always the same thing.
So much. So I'm just going to scroll back and pick out a couple of things that pissed me off as I read. Because,
one,
I
don't care how angry you are. I get everybody has anger issues, but if it becomes a pattern, that's when it's an issue.
Everybody fights once in a while. It's something that couples do. No two people are going to see exactly eye to eye, dead level on every single issue. It's technically, and if you do have a partner and you see exactly eye to eye on with everything,
it's still...
Are they lying to you?
Most of the time, they don't work out. I mean, it's a mutual thing, but most of the time, they aren't happy either.
No.
But, no, I get fight. Some fighting, bickering, whatever, is healthy. But when it becomes a pattern, you're doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't matter how much you apologize. One, when you say you're sorry, it means you're going to change your behavior.
The best apology is a changed behavior.
Yes.
It's the only acceptable apology.
If you're not going to change your behavior, then that sorry means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, pattern, that's wrong. Two, there is absolutely no reason to be disrespectful and put somebody down that you supposedly love and care about.
Mm-mm.
You don't ever do that. You don't hurt them.
Okay, so on that note, one of the first couple things that pop out to me, 2 kids in under 2 years. Yes, they were friends for a very long time, but the second they admitted that they liked each other, it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Am I the only person that screams love bombing to?
Yeah.
I am?
No, you're not.
See, wait.
No, I agree with it. But, see, I'm on the fence because, I had 2. but they were shorter terms. I mean, altogether they added up to about yours, but there were two different kinds. And I don't know, I learned so much from the first one, I learned so much from the second one, and it's like,
hindsight's 2020.
I know.
I used to hate that cliche so much.
But it's true.
But now I'm a grown up and I'm like, hindsight's really 2020.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't understand putting up with it at this point.
No, now we have no tolerance, but we had to deal with the stupid to build that barrier there. So, super, super fast. 2 kids in under 2 years. He wants to keep her barefoot and pregnant's what that is.
No, he wants to keep control. She doesn't have a job.
She has no job.
She's stuck.
She picked up and packed up and left all of her friends, her family, her support system behind.
She's isolated.
She's completely isolated.
Man, does that sound familiar?
Horrifically so. Horrifically so.
Like, I'm just saying.
Okay. And she didn't, she didn't just move to a different town. She moved states.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, what's the thing?
I don't know what you just did. But, no, he put her in a position that it would be, he thought, possibly impossible for her to leave. For one, she needs to make it very clear it's not impossible.
No.
There is nothing wrong with starting over from scratch.
Even in your 30s.
You have anybody, friend, family, somebody you don't know willing to help you.
Well, I mean, she didn't have any coworkers, but a lot of people do.
But literally anybody that's willing to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just...
Yeah.
Take it.
And honestly, it's like...
It's not going to end up good for her or the kids.
And the fact that it's, she's talking about something that's going on with their baby. Mm-hmm. Like I said, even if it's just a new blister and a diaper rash, why is the irritation creeping out? They're just having a conversation. Mm-hmm. You're having a normal conversation, and all of a sudden the person that you're having a conversation with just gets irritated, and then they're annoyed, and then they're aggravated, and then they're angry. Why?
It'd be one thing if he was having a day and it was a one-off.
Yeah, if it was a one-off, but this is most absolutely definitely not a one-off.
I mean, you could go as far as say maybe he's cheated on her. Probably has, to be honest.
Oh, guarantee it.
But
guarantee it.
It's just not okay.
No.
It's very classic.
And honestly, it sounds like he's kind of got her to that point of beat down where after so long you start second-guessing your own sanity. Mm-hmm. Like, wait, are there really people behind the TV and I'm just not seeing it?
Yeah.
I know there's not, but maybe.
No, she needs to leave.
No, absolutely.
Whatever that means, whether he's not there. And honestly, when he's not there, it's probably going to be easier.
It's going to be so much easier with him not there. Because, and honestly, something she did that I don't agree with is she should not have told him that she would be gone by the time he got back. Because is he going to cut that trip short, come home, and because there is no more dangerous time in getting out of one of these relationships than when they feel like they're losing control and they're not getting what they want and they realize that they're losing what they want. They are dangerous. And you and I can both attest to that. We can both attest to that.
They don't think you're going to go through with it.
They don't think you're going to go through with it. And then when you do go through with it,
they lose it.
Here comes the violence.
They're completely unhinged.
Because their begging isn't working, their crying isn't working, their manipulation's not working. So they're just going to escalate until they find something that does work. Or so they think. How'd that work out for them?
Well, both of us. That kind of made it worse for them, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, that's how women end up dead.
It is.
Flat and simple. That's how women end up dead. That window there at the end where they figured out that you're serious and, oh shit, she's actually leaving my nappy ass. Mm-hmm. That is the danger zone.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not safe after you get away.
They get comfortable in that control.
And yeah, but that first few weeks, that period right there, girl, you are in danger. And she did say she was planning on doing something that I don't think is a good idea. Did you catch it?
Taking his car?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Although I get, she doesn't have one though. Now if her family friends are willing to come and get her, great, or buy a bus. But
somebody get her a Greyhound ticket. The parents, the somebody.
Like I get her reasoning. At the same time, I think I'd leave the keys in it and put it out by the road.
Well, and you have to figure, he comes home early from that trip because he knows she's leaving and his car's not there. He reports it stolen. Here comes the bolo. She gets pulled over in the stolen car. She's arrested for theft because he's that brand of petty asshole to press charges for such a thing. He now has the baby.
It depends on, is her name on it? It depends, because they're
No,
married.
I guarantee you her name's not on that car.
Probably not.
Guarantee it.
So I don't think she should take his car. I don't.
No, she just opens
But
up a
does
whole.
she have another option?
She
I mean, if
doesn't
she has
say.
gas money, she should be able to get a bus ticket.
Yeah, she doesn't say if she reached out to family or anything like that. But I mean, if her family's not willing to help her, there's groups, there's resources, there's hotlines, there's numbers. Dial 211. They will direct you to what you need to get out. Like, there's advocacy services. There are things. Some are better than others. We live in such a small community.
I have words about that too.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a quality of services depending on your area. Small town out in the woods, it's a joke, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But in larger areas, metropolitan areas, cities, there's shelters. There's a lot better infrastructure for such things. They have more resources in those areas. But does
she know about them? And she doesn't see. She probably doesn't have any friends.
Mm-mm.
So she can't be like, I need help. I don't know what to do. And we both know it sucks, and it sucks, especially when you're suburbs.
Well, she obviously has access to either a computer or a smartphone.
Yes.
Go into incognito mode.
Search.
And Google.
But she's not thinking that way. Plus pregnancy brain on top of that.
Oh my God, I don't miss pregnancy brain.
No.
Not at all. Like,
there wasn't one.
It's like squish pea soup up there. It's bad. But, I mean, there are so many resources that OP could look into rather than opening herself up to the risk of him pressing charges and taking the baby, and then she has to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not going to leave her baby behind.
Even then, it's going to be civil either way, but she's still going to have a time. But she needs to find somebody.
Well, no, if he presses charges for auto theft.
Well, but I mean,
that's not
other
civil.
Than that.
Yep, and then he's home and she's stuck again. So no, I don't think that's a safe course of action at all.
I don't. I agree. Bus will be a better option. And if she has gas money to go to a different state, she has nothing to get a bus ticket. Kids should be free, or at least one of them.
I mean, is it the difference in going from where we live to Kentucky, or the difference between going from where we live to California? How many states? Because a little bit of gas money is only going to get you so far. It don't matter what you're driving or riding in.
She said she had enough gas money to get home.
Yeah, we don't know where home is, though. No. The general consensus is not the asshole. This comment right here. You married Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Pretty much.
I've literally used that line myself, and the look that I got.
Oh, you called them out on truth.
You want to know the look on a narcissist's face when you look at him and say, "Hey, Mr. Hyde, can Jekyll come back out to play?"
Been there.
Oh my God, they get mad.
Been there. They also get mad when you reply calmly or just don't speak.
Oh no, gray rocking and stonewalling, they hate it. Hate it.
Mm-mm.
This is a good comment here. It says, "Turn off your locations on your phone." Absolutely.
Another reason not to take the car, it probably has some kind of a low jack depending on the year.
This is part-time persona is who I think I actually fell in love with. Problem being, you think that's the real person. The abuser is the real him. You got it backwards. And, you know, she kept saying knight in shining armor. I'm sorry, honey. Your knight in shining armor is a loser in aluminum. It's bad. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm. And it's getting stuck in that position.
Oh, it's horrible.
It does.
And you're there before you know it.
Yeah.
Like, I swear,
blindsided.
I see all these comments, all these guys. Well, you should have picked a better guy. You should have picked a better guy. Well, you did it to yourself. Why didn't you pick better? They don't behave that way in the beginning.
Unless you have lived it, you don't get it.
No. If you've never been in that situation, you could not possibly understand. And frankly, count yourself among the blessed.
And I can completely relate to that because before Numbnuts, I swore I would never put up with half of what he put me through. And what did I do?
There you were.
And now I'm like, okay, I get it now. That was stupid of me. I get that. But
you knew me when I was younger. I still firmly believe that a good solid throat punch is a solution to most problems. I'm probably wrong, but I'm a believer. And the amount of crap I put up with in those 13 years. 13 years. And the only good thing to come out of it was the kids. Mm-hmm. Seriously. It's a...
my situations were different. I mean, one was strictly emotional. The other one was completely on him.
Yeah, it's insane. And I think the part that makes me the maddest is Numbnuts coming to comfort me the night it all happened, and then turning around and doing the same fucking thing to you 3 months later. 4 months later, oh,
Still the shovel.
I got another shovel. We could have put him somewhere, surely. Again, I don't condone much violence.
Much.
A little bit. Just
some's necessary.
Small, justifiable amounts.
Just the, self-defense kind.
See, and here's where people get into the don't steal the car, and I like this one. And this person actually has a good point.
Okay.
Call the police and start the paper trail. Let them know that you are leaving because he's abusive and he will likely report you missing, so they know in advance that you're not a missing person. Do not tell him where I am.
They wouldn't do that here.
Well, not in this town. It's too tight knit.
Not even the other ones I've called.
Well, see, and a lot of times, though, you are over 18. That's why people have so much trouble filing missing person reports on adults.
And it's a civil suit. They will stay out of it.
The thing is, a lot of people have a problem filing missing persons reports on people over 18 because, well, what if they just left?
Has to be 48 hours before they can.
And even at that,
24 or something like that.
If you call them in advance, say, this person's going to report me missing. I'm not missing. I am in danger. I have to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Don't even tell the cops where you're going. Just tell them I'm leaving. If they try to report me missing, I'm not missing.
But I'm going to take it a step further because crazy is crazy.
Fair.
He could have some kind of crazy story. She's mentally unstable or something.
Oh, they all say we're mentally unstable when we get away.
I remember what we were told, especially after mine. She hit me first, so quick.
I don't believe that for a red second.
Neither did the cops.
Good.
So, but, I take it a step further that if he has a big enough sob story, she has no friends, she has no witnesses, no character witnesses, nothing. They're going to believe him. And it sounds like if he's going on work trips like that, he's probably upstanding. They sometimes are.
A lot of dirtbags go on business trips. I mean, come on.
But, socially, he may seem upstanding.
It's that two-faced nonsense.
Yeah.
They're a gentleman in the streets and a dick behind closed doors.
So, it may or may not work out in her favor. It certainly doesn't hurt I guess.
I mean, it never hurts to try to preempt it.
I don't think I'd tell them where I was going.
Oh, absolutely not, because they'll let it slip. Because, I mean, they're married and whatnot.
Yeah.
But just tell them he's going to try to report me missing. I'm not missing. I myself am telling you, I am not missing. I am not kidnapped. I left.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find me and he's dangerous. No. And then go.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts it in the report on paper. So when he calls and says, my wife's missing. Well, we got a pretty good authority from your wife that no, she ain't. Where'd she go? We don't know, but she ain't missing.
Call recordings really help too.
Oh my God. You got to be careful with call recording though.
Especially now.
It really depends on your state's laws.
Yeah.
Indiana is a one-party state.
Yes.
You can record somebody without them being aware.
As long as
one person who is part of the conversation, an actual part of the conversation, including yourself, is okay with it being recorded, you can record it. But then there's other states where it's two-party consent. Yes. You have to tell the person it's being recorded, and if they don't like that, you can't legally do it.
That's true.
And if you get an out-of-state phone call, and you're going to record it, you still have to tell them you're recording it. Because even if you're in a one-party state, they may not be. And their state law will counteract yours.
That's true.
It's a mess. And it's the same with security cameras. We had a roommate, and I knew he was doing stupid in my house. And I wanted to put up security cameras. But I double-checked with the police, and they said that any video I got would be inadmissible in court because the way the law is written in our state, any area where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, you cannot have a camera. Since he lived in my living room, that legally makes it his bedroom, makes him have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Yes. I could not put a camera in my own living room because that's where he was staying.
Yes.
And he was the problem. And I'm like, well, that's dandy.
Technicalities.
I hate technicalities. Did you know it's illegal to booby trap too? I know, right? I asked them about that, and they said, well, we could arrest them for peeping if you caught them, but we got to arrest you for assault, too. I was like, well, that ain't right.
Right?
Why? Nope. Booby traps are purely illegal.
I feel like if they are on my house, what if I have a sign outside that says this property is booby trapped?
I want one of those doorbells with a bear trap on it. So you push the button. We'll hear you.
You see what I want to do to my doorbell.
I love it. I want a taser doorbell. That's amazing. So this comment right here says it all. Not the asshole. No. The answer is no. You should not sleep it off and stay.
Mm-mm.
No. Under any circumstances. That's it.
No.
That's
Leave.
it.
It is important to leave.
It is time to GTFO at a rapid pace.
As little as the 1-year-old is, it's better to do it now than wait until they're older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did the stay together for the sake of the kids.
Me too.
It doesn't get better. It does not get better.
It doesn't.
Just staying for the kids. No. It causes more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a split house. You were raised by a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we ain't half right, but we turned out all right.
I think we both got pretty level heads.
I mean, we ain't half right, but we're all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, absolutely not the asshole.
Mm-mm.
OP 211, ask for resources, incognito mode, Google. There are resources out there. Get out. Nobody should have to put up with that under any circumstances. Take it from two women that did and got out, luckily, with our lives. Get the hell out of there as fast as humanly possible. Run. Don't walk, don't skip, don't hopscotch, especially don't spill it. Get out of there.
It was by the skin of our teeth, to be honest.
The skin of what's left of our teeth after it was all over with.
Damn.
Okay. So now, this is a little lighter. This is just a little bit of a conversational thing to wrap it up because that one was
rough.
A little too close to home.
Little bit.
A little too close to home. So this one comes from R Off My Chest. A life lesson I learned along the way.
Okay.
And it's just kind of a little uplifting kind of thing.
Okay.
It honestly, it kind of reflects back on something my therapist told me that really kind of stuck.
Okay.
I hang on this one. This one got me through some shit.
This?
What my therapist said.
What'd they say?
This is really on track with it.
Okay.
Okay. So, again, it's from R Off My Chest, a life lesson I learned along the way. I've been reflecting on some of the harder lessons life has taught me, and one really stands out. Not everything is in your control, and that's okay.
Agreed.
For a long time, I tried to control everything. My job, my relationships, my feelings, thinking that if I could just get it right, things would go the way I wanted. Stressed over every little detail, made plans for things I couldn't possibly predict, and tried to be perfect, which only exhausted me. Then life threw some surprises my way. People left, opportunities disappeared, things didn't go as planned. At first, I thought I failed. But the truth is, not everything can be controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta let it go and accept life is unpredictable. Learning to accept the uncertainty and just go with the flow has made a huge difference. I still have goals, but I don't worry about controlling every outcome. I found peace in letting things happen and being able to adjust as I go.
Agreed. And that's something I think we both learned, even with the relationship things.
My therapist had to drill it home.
Yeah, but like, we've both done the healing. And
I got this was before healing. This was, all of that blew up in January 2 years ago. This is when I was in therapy in November. I started therapy in November before everything happened, and this was around December.
Okay. So it was before.
It was before everything blew up, and I got away. And she flat told me, she goes, the only person in this world that you can control their thoughts and actions is you.
That is true.
That's it. You can only control how you react, how you behave, and what direction you go. No matter how much we'd like to think we influence other people, like, if I do this, he'll change. If I do this, she'll do this. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
In any capacity. You can make suggestions, you can talk, scream until you're blue in the face. You have zero control over anybody but yourself.
And see, like, the changing thing, like, I get people make mistakes. The whole point is to learn from them and do better. If they are showing they're not going to do that, don't let it keep going.
When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. The first time. That's another
I'm pretty bad about giving.
That is another chances. Horribly hard learned lesson. Believe them the first time.
Yeah.
You only get so much time. That's it. time is the only precious commodity we have that we have no idea how much of it we have.
Mm-hmm.
Why be miserable? Worrying about what somebody else is up to.
Very true. If they give you reason to doubt, I think that's the thing. To actually doubt. Like, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, you can forgive mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that are not mistakes. They are actions. They are decisions.
I fell on it. That's not a mistake.
No.
That was a choice.
You don't fall into that. That's not how that works.
I mean, I guess if they're doing a handstand and you trip just right, maybe. But why were your pants off? Mm-hmm. But anyway. That's where I'm going to leave that mental image.
Oh, thanks for that.
You're very welcome.
I'm a very visual person. So.
You're so welcome. You can use that one.
No, I don't want to use that one for nothing.
It's like, I fell in it. Why? But no, like I said, that one stuck. It
does.
And it's hard to remember sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, everyone around me is behaving like an idiot. I must not.
Remove myself.
I must not. It's tricky, but seriously, I mean, it was like we were talking yesterday. It's like, oh, that's what we're doing now? Okay. Here we go.
The same thing.
All right. Do you have any thoughts or no? Nothing else you want to touch on from any of the stories or?
I mean, we could really go hot and heavy and try to advocate here, but
I'd really rather not go hot and heavy. I've got my PJs on. I don't want to take them off.
No, God. Oh. I love you, not that way.
And there's that dark humor. It's getting too heavy up in here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no, just pay attention.
Situational awareness, very important.
Communication.
Talk to each other. And
if they're not listening,
don't waste your breath.
Exactly.
No.
If they're not going to make the effort to listen and communicate themselves, they don't want it.
Like that old song says, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk, and when to run.
Exactly.
So, I guess that's it. That's our very, very first episode.
Let's see how bad it sounds.
It's not going to sound horrible after editing, but so that's it for the very first episode of A&K Unhampered. And leave us a comment and let us know what you think. What can we do better? Is there any stories you want to hear? Any stories you want to share?
Any subjects we should go over?
Yeah, any subjects you want to hear? Any good subreddits you want us to check out and dig from? And I suppose, will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.